He is not coming. I am. Hello, 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 hello. यार आवाज क्यों नहीं आ रही यार? He is not coming. I am. Hello, hello, hello. Not coming. I am. Hello, hello, hello. यार
Hello,
आवाज
hello.
क्यों नहीं आ रही यार?
आवाज आ
He
रही है.
is not coming. I am.
आवाज आ No.
Hello, hello, hello.
Today we will not.
Coming. Hello,
Okay.
hello.
यार
Hello.
आवाज. Today
He
we're gonna
is
talk
not coming.
about
आवाज
Redis.
आ रही.
No.
Hello, hello, hello.
Today we will not. Today we're gonna talk about Redis. Why we use Redis in the web application and so on and so forth. The detailed
Hello.
application.
यार आवाज.
Today we're gonna
He is
talk
not
about
coming. आवाज आ
Redis.
रही.
No.
Hello, hello, hello.
Today we will not. Today we're gonna talk about Redis. Why we use. This is good. Just lower some values that it the voice does not crack. I just want to make sure the voice does not make upsubs showing in between the live stream, and I just want to be like clear, crystal, and everything out. So the today the topic is to understand is Reddish. Reddish is something that we should talk about today. Reddish was a very I would say like it was a very outbreaking as well as a very good solution to a web application to reduce the load, concurrency load, and all over the load to a API and web server. This was a very good solution to like offload traffic to the web application and web servers, which was used to be bombarded with very much requested, and it required a very large amount of infrastructure to be deal with the number of requests and the number of services to be given to the users. So to reduce that kind of load and concurrency and expenses in web server, we introduced Redis. Redis helps us to organize and to it also helps us to like in terms of latency and retrieval of data very much faster as compared to the retrieval of data over the network and by the providing of web servers. So it was a kind of very good thing to be introduced in the web applications sectors and web application building, but it also has some drawbacks and like drawbacks in some cases like when you some everything has a drawback, but when you use in some other which some other purposes and the purpose does not match the creation of the purpose of the solution, then it creates conflict in between. So you have to understand like the slowly purpose of the ready you was not to cache as well, but to also provide you a log, and it has 2 3 parameters where it gives you a very much handy thing to a developer, and like it gives you very much dynamics to like to use to your applications. So like uh, I will try to understand you make you understand why Redis was something is something to be to be talked about, to be celebrated about. So this is, I guess, yes. So this is something. So where is the object? Yes, this is a web server, and this is something that you should be. Yes, this is something that you should be care about. Yes, this is a web server. Let me put it here, and This is the request. This is the request response, and this is Redis. Let's assume this. And this is a response of the Redis from the user, and this is the user. And this is the user. So when user make the request, when user want to get data of its profile, let's suppose user want to get uh let's user want to get a video from server, a video of its wedding, let's suppose. So if and it's the first time of user logging in, and this is the first time if the user is making request to the web server to get thing of video and from the server. So like now what's going to happen is that when user make the request from its mobile phone, it directly it does know it, because it's the first time he is making the request. So it the most chances that the resources which will be not will be in the Redis cache and Redis disk, it will be more often will be in the server. So the request will be directly go to the server will analyze the request, it will create a response according to the need of the user, and the server and the server will provide the resources to the user. And then the factor of Redis comes now. When the user gets the resources, user get the resources, now user will make a request, request post, or like it will trigger a post from his phone to post this as a cache in Redis. Now the video is being saved in the Redis now. And this is the first scenario when the request was the first time. Now the second case scenario, when the request was being in the second attempt. Now the user want to get this video for the second time, the same video for the second time as well. So now he's making the second time request. So now in the second time request, what will happen? The request will directly not go to the web server. It will directly go to the cache, because in the second time and chances of the retrieval of data from the cache will be more, because it was second time. The chances of saving of the data in the Redis cache will be more, because he has already made the request. And in the second time, the chances of getting this data is will be more from the Redis disk than the web server. So the request will directly go to the Redis, and the Redis will have the data, because it the first time in the user case he have saved the data in the Redis cache disk. So the Redis will provide the resource. So in two scenario, the two factors which solve the solution of and make some significant impact to a web application is that first is first was first was load to web server, and second is latency as factor. Latency as factor. So every time the request does not have to go through over the network, over the IP, over the everything. It can be directly retrieved from the Redis as well. It can also retrieve from the node packages that web application used to send to the users mobile. So it can be retrieved from that as well, without interfering of the web server, that it goes to the application server and then to the web server and then the specific web server, and then it comes to the over the network to your phone. It's a lot of traveling and hassle and latency for your users. Like it's a cognitive load to a network as well. So it reduces two three factors very much well. And Redis as this thing can be used. It can also the Redis it cannot be used for like websites and all. It should be used for the web application. It should have like you are catering a thousands and lakhs of users on the daily basis. So you should have to reduce the cost and effective web server, you use the Redis as well. And the two three factors that the Redis shall also can be used on the scoreboard, latency, real time data fetching, and retrieval of data as much as can, as fast as can, zero latency data. These are the things in which Redis can be used. It's a key value, I guess. It stores in a key perspective value. Like when you save data, it stores in a key. While storing in a key value, it will be much more effective for the users, and it does not write and disk. It it scaled so much. So this is the thing at all I wanted to talk about Reddish and all kind of thing before something was to be done. So it cannot be used for like websites and all. It should be used for web application. It should have like you are catering thousands and lakhs of users on the daily basis. So you should have to you to. So this is something I wanted to talk about very long time, but now I am. And also the different perspective of Reddish was also like when you try to understand Reddish, it is something. Let's make you understand in a very orchestration level, like uh, how in a web, if actual use of Redis in how in a web application and the web can be used. So like when you try to understand, so this is something this is something. अरे, से- 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 ऐसे ऐसे so when you hmm. So when you try to understand, like I hope I am visible very good. Hmm. So like for example, let's try to build a quiz application like you provide PDF, raw PDF, it goes to LLM, it generates JSON, and generates JSON, and it has a quiz dashboard. It has questions and it has options. So this is the A, B, C, D. So this is quiz application. I hope you can be see it would be able to see. Hmm. So this is the quiz application. Okay, now where is the use of Redis? Now the use of Redis will be like, so this section the Redis will come like, this is the computational power you done computational power. ठीक है, now you have Redis. So first time it will be like directly inject that JSON into this front end part and it will show you. But the user want to retrieve this for the second time, so the user will not again make the request to get the same data. It will directly make the request to the Redis to generate this data. So the process will be not like you generate PDF and then LLM and then JSON. It will be directly to the Redis, and Redis directly will feed to the front end part. So you bypass this kind of computational and the web server part in the web application, and you directly go to the Redis to generate this application, generate this data, retrieve this data from the disk of Redis. So this is the advantages you get in the by using a fast spinning disk and bypass disk as a Redis to your application, which reduces a lot of cognitive load and networking load to your application. This is a case of scenario 1. Now this is a case of scenario 2 I will be talking about. So let's talk about the case of scenario of 2. Hmm. Now, if you want to design a leaderboard according to the use of Redis, so this will be as for now. Like you have a web server and user output, it making the response and post request to the web server. Data is inputting, and you have Redis, and you have a leaderboard. Mm. This is the leaderboard and user output. So this will be like, and this is the user want to see data. Hmm. So this is the something that is that is that is being that is being very bi-directional thing. Like when you want to get some real-time data from your according to the scenario, like you want to watch a leaderboard of cricket score, like for example. So cricket score will directly not go to the request directly to the web server to give fetch the data of the fifth ball and the sixth ball. It will be most likely it will be like caches data, like it will be like the web server has already made the request and to send the data of the sixth and fifth ball to your Redis cache, and now you are saying the Redis data as a user from the Redis disk, not from the web server. What makes the difference in between? So what it makes the difference between, like you did not directly made request to the web server, which significantly reduced your network uses and like web server load, and it improved latency as perspective, because when you want to get data from the web server, it gives you a latency of seconds. Like it will go to the web server over the network, and it will retrieve data and then process, and it will back to the your user phone. It has a lot of hassle to your transportation as a as you think about the network thing. But when you get data from Redis as a disk, it will be more easy. It does not go to over the network, it does not go to over the some weather places to get you data. It directly places on your phone application, and it it comes with your phone package module. So it helps you to get data very fast as compared to getting requests from the web server. So this is some kind of things when you see things accordingly. And after in the second, third video, I will dig about more about the Redis as an internal thing. How Redis can be, how Redis is being built, and why the main significant point that makes Redis so fast. This is something I will talk about in the next video. Next video, I will make some images as well. So this is something I always wanted to. And Redis scores in a key value. It does not scores in a JSON and like thing as such as part.